Now, my topic this afternoon is History of Batu Lintang Teachers Training College, Institute Pendidikan Guru Kampus Batu Lintang, and how this Batu Lintang started, this camp started. So, there was a defense treaty between the Raja government before the war and the British government. The British were having war in Europe, many wars. So the Raja government in those days, in the 1930 something, they contributed a lot of money to the British government in order to support the British government war effort in Europe. And in turn, this Great Britain fought various wars in Europe against other nations, notably during World War II, 1914 to 1918, and again in World War II, 1939 to 1945. That was the war in Europe. And the Raja of Sarawak, Sir James Brooke, and his successors continued to give Britain war effort at various times, most notably during World War II. And these are the contributions you can see here, a lot of money being given to the British government. And sure, if you cannot see here, later on I give all this to you people. Everyone must have this one at the end. Now, in return, the Raja expected Britain to take over all responsibility for the defense of the kingdom and the cost of it. Now, that is why it was for this reason that Britain dispatched 2nd Battalion, 15 Punjab Regiment, based in Singapore for the defense of Sarawak. Now, Punjab Regiment, named after a province in north of India, it's not right for you to say Punjabi Regiment. Our local mindset, if you say Punjabi, the man in the turban, that is not true. Punjab, the people of Punjab, they are Muslim, they are Hindus, they are Buddhists, not necessarily people with a turban. So that's clear, huh? Right? Now, defense treaty, and the 2nd Battalion Punjab Regiment, that is the motto, and these are what they look like, the soldiers. British officers, they are part of the British Indian Army. And the regiment was raised in India as part of the British Indian Army. It comprised mostly European officers and Indian nationals, Sikh, Punjabis, and the rest. And the duties were to defend the Miri oil field, and in case of Japanese invasion, to destroy all important installations that can be used by the enemy. So 1 battalion, 1,000 strong, they cannot fight the Japanese. The Japanese came here 10,000 troops. Their job is to demolish anything that is useful to the Japanese, especially oil in Miri. That's their job, not to fight, not so much to fight the Japanese. Now, the regiment arrived in Sarawak on 21st December 1940, 1 year before the war. And the regiment was based in Batu Lintang, site of the present Batu Lintang Teachers Training Institute. And when they first arrived here, there are not many of them, not the whole battalion, but some of them, few hundred, they were encamped at Staba Quarry, 7 Mile, where the airport is. Then, by April 1941, that will be about 8 months before the war, then they moved to Batu Lintang because this camp was not completed yet. So this camp was built by the Raja government for the headquarters of the 2nd Battalion Punjab Regiment. Now this is the old one, you can see here. The post is original, but this one is new. It doesn't look like this. This is the one that it looked like, but in 1960s, when Batu Lintang became the Teachers Training College, they renovate this one. They put they improved this one, and asbestos roof and so on. And this you can see near the other side. Have you seen it? Ada? This was used by the sick bay. People who are sick, they put, or students who are sick, they put there. So at that point of time, my wife was a teacher here. She looked after the sick people. She was trained here long time ago, before you were born, right? Now, this is a Punjabi ammunition dump, where they put their ammunition, explosive rifle, everything. It's a strong room, and it's still here. And we are very happy that the developer, they do not disturb this one. They put a fence around it, because this is a historical site, right? Now, why the Japanese came here? The Japanese were involved fighting the Chinese way back in 1937. China is a very big country, 20 times the size of Japan. And the Chinese were very strong resistant, and the Japanese only able to occupy the coastal area, the big cities, not the interior. And in order to prolong the war in China, the Japanese need natural resources. When the war started, Japan has got only 2 years supply of oil. So they must get the oil somewhere. And also rubber and also tin for their war machine. So that is why they came to invade Southeast Asia. Now, this is on 6th December. The Japanese Southern Army, the Japanese army stationed in southern China, they were the one who invaded this Southeast Asia. On the 6th of December 1941, the task force sailed southward from Cam Ranh Bay. They were stationed here. Cam Ranh Bay, if you remember, during the Vietnam War, is a very deep seaport where they have all the big battleship there. And so they make use of Cam Ranh Bay to assemble their troop ship. And then they go to Malaya for what? For tin and rubber. Then to Indonesia for cheap labor. And Sarawak, Borneo, very important. Oil. Miri, Tarakan, Balikpapan. Miri produced the best diesel oil, less smoke. And then Tarakan and Balikpapan, they produced the best premium petrol. American call them something like high octane gasoline, American term. Huh? So in those days, the fighter plane used piston engine, like your car engine. So they fly high altitude, and when they fly high altitude, they need premium petrol, not the one that you use for your car. Much bigger grade, higher grade. Huh? So that's why they come to this place. Huh? Now, so Japanese advanced to Malaya and Singapore 8 December 1941, and they came from the back. And there are also 140,000 British, Australian, Indian troops in Malaya. So their focus was towards the sea. They expect the Japanese coastal invasion, but the invasion never came from the sea. They came from the northern part. And this is the propaganda. This is how they attacked the launch, and the Japanese landed on the northern part, Thailand and Songkhla, and also part of Malaya. So they came down using bicycle all the way down, and within 6 weeks they were in Singapore. So all these soldiers, they retreated and concentrate in Singapore here, and then they make a blunder. So this British troop was under Lieutenant General Arthur Percival. He was the officer commanding of all the British, Australian, Indian, and local troops. He was the commander, and he made a blunder. So he retreated too fast. This is the reservoir. They call McRitchie Reservoir. So the moment the Japanese got hold of this McRitchie Reservoir, they threatened to poison the water. Like it or not, the Allied forces, they have to surrender. Otherwise, everybody will die. So that's the fall of Singapore. And the man who is very responsible for that is General Yamashita. Yamashita, they also known as the Tiger of Malaya. And actually, General Yamashita, he was very nervous. He has got only 30,000 men, but he gave the impression that he was very, very strong, moved forward and very fast, giving the impression that he was a very big army. So he took a gamble and he won it. And after the war, he was the one who occupied Singapore. And then Singapore fell. Now come the next one. British surrendered in Singapore. So what happened when the British surrendered? This is how they look like. And British forces surrendered at Fort Motor Factory, Bukit Timah Road. This is Bukit Timah Road. Where is it now? I don't know, because now Singapore has changed a lot. And this is General Percival. He surrendered to the British because Yamashita was a full general and he was only a lieutenant general, one step below, so he has got to surrender to the Japanese. And this one is Colonel Tsujita, and he was educated in America. Most of these people that speak good English, they were educated in America, right? So intelligent officer, and you can see General Yamashita banging the table. These are the British officers to get the unconditional surrender at Bukit Timah. And Japanese brutality in Singapore, the moment they occupied Singapore, they got hold of this Punjabi prisoner of war, and they used that for bayonet practice. And the babies, they use the bayonet, throw the baby up and use the bayonet. And you can see here, this is the poor Chinese lady with a baby. Look at the baby there. And you see the samurai there. And they cut off the head of this poor Chinese lady. And these are the prisoner of war. They use it for practice, shooting practice. The brutalities. During the war, something like 70 to 80,000 people died in Singapore during Second World War. Right? Now, then, after Singapore, they came to Sarawak, landing at Tanjung Lobang Beach, Miri, 16 December. You can see there, this Tanjung Lobang Beach, and this troop ship, they carry this man, and they put on this little dinghy, a little boat, and it was December, big wave, and many of them drowned in Miri. So they climbed this Tanjung Lobang. This is the Japanese invasion convoy arrived in Miri, landed at Brighton Beach, and quickly secured the oil field airbase. This is Tanjung Lobang. How many of you from Tanjung Lobang? Ada, orang Miri. Next time you go to Miri, this is Tanjung Lobang. This is Brighton Beach. So they landed here and they climbed. This is the lighthouse. And they also grave there in the lighthouse. Next to the lighthouse is Second World War Memorial, commemorating the many Sarawakian, Indonesian, Indian, and Japanese who were engaged in developing Miri and Syria oil field. They died during the war. So there's a memorial there. So the lighthouse is here. So today, if you want to go to this place, you have to go through the secondary school, college. Masuk college, then they open the gate for you. So permission has got to be asked, right? Now, this is landing in Syria for the oil. And when they found out that the Punjabi have destroyed the oil field, the Japanese were very angry, and they get hold of these other people and torture them, and then they were very cruel to the civilian population. And that is why during the Second World War, many people go to the Ulu to live with the Ibans and so on. And especially young girls, the Japanese were looking for the young girl like you. They want you to work in the brothel. Cannot say no, huh? So that's why a lot of these young girls, they marry old men like me in those days. See? This is the effect of the war. Huh? So, 16th of December, and the Japanese landed here on the 24th of December, 1 week later, because of the big wave. So they couldn't wave. So they have to postpone. So from Miri, they sail in three troop ship together with this siapa tu? I think this mana? Jangan-jangan nak tu nak. Jeli. So tidak dengar. Orang pergi ke. No, ya, ada orang saya. Ada kawan saya. Okay. Jeli. Ya, Jeli. Yeah. So this is the destroyer, the escort, and this is Damai Beach. You've been there, Santubong area, Damai Beach, and then we have this torpedoed by the Dutch submarine. There are the 3 troop ship. This is the one, this one. See, today if you want to go to, people were saying that they go fishing. A lot of fish here in this wreckage. So you heard of people going to this wreckage, and these are the troop ship themselves. Now this troop ship, they carry administrative staff of the Japanese, not soldiers, administration staff. So when the shipwreck was there, and then after 3 days, the body began to float, already expanded. Full of water floating on the surface. So the Japanese officer with a samurai appeared in the Malay village and grabbed hold of some unfortunate Malay who happened to be there and asked these people to extract the semi-decomposed body and bury them around that area there. That is why, this is a story, a little bit of story about Second World War related to it. Now, when this Damai Beach, the hotel, was opened, it was a Sheraton. It was a Sheraton before. So this Sheraton, white man, the manager, the Chinese were the contractor. So the Chinese said, you must do something, to appease the spirit, because many people died there. What rubbish. All right. So after the hotel was completed, the opening day, 10 o'clock in the morning, a 16-year-old girl drowned in the swimming pool. How deep is the swimming pool? Drowned. So these are the people that we believe, the local people believe, that the spirit were angry. They want some sacrifice, which was not given in the first place. And years later, even today, my niece was working there. Nighttime, one room call. Somebody called. I want a breakfast. Check the room. Mana ada tu? Nobody say there. You see, the spirit is still. People who died a violent death without proper funeral, the spirit are moving around. They're restless. That is why when people died, it must be buried, or say prayer and so on. This is the result of it, because of that. And that is why Santubong, you climb Mount Santubong, people get lost. For what? No reason. Right? So we have to incorporate the story. So when we tell people, these are the stories we tell, not in the textbooks. Right? No. So the Japanese, they do not use the main Sarawak River because they know that the Punjabi waiting for them. So they detour. They make use of Santubong River, this one here. The other side, Salak area, they bypass this main Sarawak River. They use the back part. And you can see the Matang, Punjabi in Matang. So the Punjabi was on the top of this hill, but they couldn't see the Japanese. Because why? Before the war, there were Japanese here. They were Japanese. And they were seen to fish. They sell things very, very cheaply. They go bicycle from one kampong to another kampong, but they took down. In those days, mana ada satellite. There's no proper map. So, they tulis peta semua, where, who and what. Huh? And after that, then the report. So these three of them, in the evening, they go fishing in the waterfront. Fishing, measure the depth. Everything done. All these are the spies, you know. And after that, when the Japanese landed, these people were the officers. They lead the Japanese. So 3 days before the Japanese landed, they disappeared into thin air. Nobody see them, but they were already in connection with the landing Japanese troop, right? Okay. Now this one, you can see the pillbox here. You can see? Masih ada, Batang Road. Huh? Now, Japanese internees in Kuching. So, on the same day, Pearl Harbor was attacked, 7 December, 38 Sarawak Japanese male were rounded up and interned at the government house. Huh? So in the 1930s, there were about 100 Japanese. So they asked the Raja permission to plant rubber and rice at Samarahan. Samarahan and Samarahan estate, you can see the remains of those Japanese there. The small temple still there, can see. And then their job was to plant rubber exported directly to Japan. Rice pergi Japan because they know that the war is coming. So not only that, we also have these Japanese who work in the plantation. They go around to Bau area looking for mercury. Ada mercury dekat Bau, ada gold dekat Bau. So they're looking out for all these things. They're sniffing around for some mineral. So they know other places. Huh? Now there will be another story. And this used to be the government rest house. Today is occupied by the Sarawak Borneo Cultures Museum. The same site. But in those days, before the war, there was no hotel. So the British officer, they served in the Ulu. So when they come to Kuching, they want to go to England, where do they stay? Rest house. And rest house look like a hotel. It's more or less like a hotel, but government rest house. So they stay there. People like us cannot stay there. Only the officers, they can stay there. So this rest house was there, and later on it was demolished. So the women and children, and this rest house was used to house these 38 Sarawak Japanese. Before the war, they were interned there. Julie? Yeah?
No. Who called you?
No, Julie. You see whether what did he say here? Julie John.
Is it open?
Yeah.
Because I went to the front.
Yeah.
They say nobody.
They rope up all these Japanese, 38 of them, masuk dekat situ, intern, before the war. When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, about the same time, all these Japanese here, they were put in this house. And the women and children, St. Teresa school, you don't see this building anymore. Sudah dibuang, dirubuh, yeah? Then, the internees were released when the Japanese landed in Kuching, 24 December 1941. And Japanese came here Christmas Eve, 1941. Tomorrow, Christmas, this afternoon, they landed here, right? Christmas Eve. Now, this is the General Post Office, headquarters of Sarawak Defence Force, the General Post Office. And the man in charge is John Lai Knox, Secretary of Defence. He was a Secretary of Defence. Actually, he was a New Zealander. He worked here as cooperative officer. Cooperative. So during the war, he was made the Secretary of Defence. And this is the daughter, Judy Pearson.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she is now with the husband living in the flat there. Like a flat, huh? Why she choose this place? Because the father was interned here during the war. This is a living testimony. Next time you like to speak to her, talk about the Second World War, she will tell you.
Yeah, I'm happy to
Yeah.
speak to anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Huh?
Been here 5 years now.
5 years. Yeah.
5 years.
5 years. Yeah. Malaysia my second home.
That's right.
That's right. Huh? Tu, yeah. Second World War punya orang. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I will introduce one by one. All right. Now, there's the road named after her, after the father, Jalan Noaks. Huh? But there's no S there. But now they put the word S already. I pointed it out. Huh? So the people, the Hanghua community was very happy because now they make tons of money because of her father. Teach them how to do cooperative, and they carried out very well today. Yeah, you talk to the people in Hanghua, in Sungai Apong, they say Jalan Nok. That's why they have Jalan Noks there, named after the father. Okay, right. This is a history. Okay, part of history. Now, when the Japanese landed here in the afternoon, they were fighting in this Satok area, fighting with the Punjabi. Some of them went over to Astana, and then some went to Fort Margarita. So from Fort Margarita, they planted Japanese flag, and they used a dinghy to cross the river. There they go to this post office. So the people in the post office, mostly some British officers and Chinese officers, so they were caught. No shot being fired. So the moment they arrive in this post office, they try to destroy all the important document. So after that, they came out. The Japanese got hold of them, and they put them in the middle of the road. Here, dekat Penggalan Batu. You remember this one? This rock road. Post office is there, and this one is Penggalan Batu. They put them there, sitting on the road, to be humiliated by the local people. See, because Japanese, they were telling the local people, hey, last time you say tuan. Now you know what happened. You see how we Japanese, how strong we are. This is the purpose of that one. From 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, sitting down there, and then 6 o'clock they were removed. The Chinese were allowed to go free. Then the 6-7 European, they were brought to the Astana. To the Astana here. And below this one, if you have been to the Astana, below this tower, there's a staircase. 10 feet. You climb staircase. Below the staircase is a rectangular thing. The door, this stick, belian door, this stick, the bolt is this size. No ventilation for them to put the document, strong room. There they put all the European there for 48 hours, no food, no drink, nothing. And they tie them up. If one move, it causes discomfort to the other. So that 48 hours, nothing, no ventilation. Just a little bit of air coming in. So they suffer a lot. And from there, on Boxing Day, that means the 26th of December, 2 days later, they were brought to the Central Police Station. This one here. Now, here you can see the police station today, but in those days, the last place that you want to visit is a kind of a gray thing and not friendly looking and all that. So they put there. And what happened there is very interesting. Very interesting. Now, we backtrack a bit. In the 1930s, there was a Japanese, like I told you just now. One of them married a local. This is the Kimura family. This is a Badayu lady. This is the Japanese Kimura. And this is what he looked like in those days. In those days, they put on this cockhead, pakai coat, pakai tie, riding bicycle. Riding bicycle in those days is just like having a Mercedes, Not everybody can ride bicycle. There's not very few bicycle. Only the gentlemen of the days pakai bicycle udah pangkat besar in those days, right? And this is the Kimura family, married. They have children. This is and this Kimura was my grandfather. My Japanese grandfather. This is my Badayu grandmother. So, my family, partly Japanese. This is my mother. This is my English father. 3 in 1. So next time you minum kopi 3 in 1, you remember me. All right? No? I was born in Cebu. This is my naked picture. See? Then, this is what I look like. My mother liked to have a girl, but I was born a boy. So she dressed me up like a girl. Okay? Yeah. There was 1940, I was born in 1942, January 1942. So I remember partly of it. When the war ended, I still remember a little bit. Okay? Now, so, my father, with a lot of European officers, they tried to escape to Indonesia. They want to go to Australia through Indonesia. So they used these 40 of them with their wife, with their family, including Macpherson. Andrew Macpherson was the resident. So my father was the postmaster in Cebu. And Andrew Macpherson was the resident, the boss. So Andrew Macpherson married Iban Chinese from Kapit. So they have children. Bujang Macpherson and siapa nama seorang lagi? I can't remember. And our Minister of Tourism last time, siapa nama tu? Shukri. Shukri was, Macpherson was Shukri's grandfather. Because Andrew Macpherson, the resident, later on he married the Iban Chinese wife, and when Macpherson died, the daughter married Cegu Shukri. So that's why they were related. So this is a story, yeah. So what happened? They go up, they drive all the way, bukan drive, pakai itu boat, speedboat, all the way to Batang Rajang, right up to River Balu, yeah. So they want to cross to this long Nawang. So 1 month they travel, and this is how they travel. This is a new picture, but to tell you how difficult it was. And the last part they used the Iban using the pedal, and 3 weeks like this. 1 week they have to walk in the jungle to reach a place called Long Nawang, and this is the Dutch military outpost. So they stay there for about 8 months. Then in August, the Japanese came from the other side, Mahakam River from the Indonesian side, and they massacred everybody, including my father, everybody. The men, they put them and they shot them with a machine gun and put them in a mass grave. The ladies, the 2-year-old baby, 2 months old baby, they used the us to climb the tree, and then they used the bayonet. And 1 week later, in the Kenyah area, so they get hold of the Kenyah. This is dynamite. You go down river and get the fish, which they do. They didn't see, but one person saw. Young boy saw that they used to kill the women with the bayonet. Very painful death. So after that, the bodies were exhumed from this grave, Long Nawang grave, and these are the officers, and they reburied them in Tarakan Island. So from Tarakan Island, now they moved to Surabaya, the final one. So this is the one in Surabaya, Dutch War Cemetery in Surabaya. All these people who died here. the government people who died. There are more people died here as well. Now, then come Batu Lintang. Cerita Batu Lintang tu. First, the Japanese came here and they also have spies well before the war. So these three ladies, Japanese lady, they have this behind the police station, ada apa nama tu, Kaiju Lane and notorious red light district. You want to take opium, you think you want what massage everything, semua ada. So these ladies, they entertain government officers, you know, mabuk pergi sana, mau minta urut, and they were given sake, the rice wine, to loosen the tongue. So information, they get all the information, go to industry, straight to Japan. So when the war started, the list, complete list of who are there, semua ada. So the Kampitai, they just look at the list, report yourself. That's it. Tu aja. Now, so Japan was taken over by the Japanese in 1942 when these Punjabi, they ran away. They were fighting and they lose the battle, and this camp was taken by the Japanese. So it became a Japanese prisoner of war and internist camp. So the prisoner of war, men in uniform, internist, civilian. Very rare. So here we combine. Now, the camp was extended to 50 acres and surrounded with 5 miles of barbed wire perimeter. And within the perimeter, ada lagi 9 compound, all fenced up. So total 5 miles. The camp was divided into 9 compounds, each of which was surrounded by barbed wire fencing. And British officers, Dutch officers, Australian officers, Indonesian officers, Roman Catholic priests, they're all separated. Cannot talk to each other. All fenced up in that 50 acres. Now, this is, you must be wondering where the prisoners come from. So when Singapore surrendered, 140,000 of them, some of them went to Thai Burma. Many of them died. Thai Railway, you heard of that? Ada pergi Sabah. Some of them go to Sabah, Sandakan camp. Now they go to Batu Lintang, 3 places. They split them up. So the successful one was Batu Lintang. Not many people. Sabah, 2,500, they marched from Sandakan to Ranau. Ranau is near KK, 100 over miles, 60 miles or so in the jungle. So if they died, they were shot straight away. Mati terus. So 2,500, only 6 survived because they tried to escape. The rest all died. Massacred by the Japanese because the Japanese don't want them to tell the story after the Second World War, when the war ended. So they don't want publicity, you know? Right. Now, this is what it looked like, Batu Lintang camp, long time ago. This is Colonel Suga. This is a very interesting man. A story about him. Now, as a young man, young boy, he always followed his elder brother to church. He played maybe some organ or something. And his brother was the founder of YMCA in Yokohama. YMCA, Young Men Christian Association, the brother. So he was a Christian. Yeah? So when he grew up, he joined the Imperial Japanese Army and he fought in China. So he was wounded. When he was wounded, he asked the nuns, Catholic nuns, what can I do for you? Do nothing for us. Next time you see the Catholic nun, be kind to them. So actually, Colonel Suga, after that, he left the army in 1937 because of his old age, not fit to be in the infantry anymore. He got his pension. With his pension, he supported his 6 children in Yokohama, and he sailed to the United States to attend the University of Washington to teach English as a second language. So he was very good in English. So he taught in various places, China, Korea, Formosa, today is Taiwan. He taught all over the place. teaching English. And when war broke out, he volunteered to be the camp commandant. So he was in Sabah. And when he was in Sabah, that's where he met a lot of this Agnes Keith story later on. So he came to Kuching and he was made in charge of all the camp in Kuching as well as Sandakan. They were overall in charge. That he was promoted to Lieutenant Colonel, one step. Right. Now, so this is the camp commandant. You can see here, you can see the post. This is the way he was, the office, the commandant office. And he lived in Kuching, I think one of the road in Kuching, Pisang Road or somewhere. Every day he drive up here. He doesn't live here. Yeah, right. But he was kind to the young people. The children gave ice cream, but he has to be very careful of himself because his number 2, Captain Yamamoto, he doesn't want to give an impression that he was good to the prisoner of war, because with this Captain Yamamoto reported him to the Kampitai, that will be the end of him. So he has got to be very careful, right? Now, this is prisoner of war Batu Lintang. This is how they suffered. Look at that. And all this torture and so on going on. And after the war, I heard stories that local people, they said that the Japanese were good, you know. Chinese were bad. Because when, towards the end of the war, most of these soldiers, infantrymen, they were killed. So they have to bring these infantrymen. They're not allowed to, so they don't want the infantrymen to look after the camp. So they recruited young people from Taiwan, from Korea, to be the camp guard, because the infantrymen, they go to fight. So they make these young people very cruel. So twice a week, they have to line up, facing each other, and slap each other face as fast, as hard as possible, to put them in a very bad mood. If they are not cruel to the prisoner of war, they get also being beaten up by the Japanese. So the evil was the Japanese, not the young people, the poor young people, right? So that's the story, right? Now, again, in this part of the world, many things happened during the war, and people were curious, you know. Hey, how come this couple, white couple, having these brown-colored babies, you know? So they were wondering, curious. So the story goes like this. You like to hear the story? It happened in Limbang, among the Bisaya people. Bisaya, you heard of Bisaya people in Limbang? There was pre-war days, so they have their traditional belief, spiritual belief. So this a mother gave birth to a baby, twin, bad omen. When she delivered the 2 babies, the mother died. Another bad omen, dua bad omen. So what happened? The elders discussed, or according to our belief, the young day-old babies must be buried alive with the dead mother in the same grave. So that came to the rescue. These are the 2 to Mr. Busher, this missionary adopted the 2. When war broke out, they brought these 2 toddlers here. And this man now is angkat. Child prisoner of war. Child prisoner of war. The only surviving child prisoner of war.
Yes.
He's the icon of Batu Lintang. And after the war ended, he went to Australia, to school in Australia for 10 years. He speaks like Australian accent. Say hello to them.
Hello.
What should I say?
Say, how are you? You find the story interesting?
Well, the story what I heard, almost slave, and I really don't know much about it, but yes, what should I say?
Say hello to them. They want to hear your accent.
Do the best, and
Yeah.
it is glad to meet you, and to be one of the living history. I would say yes, living history. The only living history. Far as I know, I'm the only one left. But this war and all this Japanese, that I'm the only one left. So I should say I was a lucky one. So I'm happy to meet you all, and I wish you the best. And I'm not that good.
Hope that you'll be here again next year.
Oh yes,
Yes.
yes. Oh yes, and yes. I hope I'll be here, and thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're the second. May I ask you, you're second year, third year? Third year, or third year?
First year.
First year. Oh, first year. Okay. Keep learning, and you have what more? 3 more years? 4 more years. Okay. And have you any idea what you would like to be once you finish? Would you like to be a teacher?
A teacher.
Would you like to be what you call a businesswoman? Or would you like to be a married woman? And so on. So I wish you the best, and it's nice to meet you all. Okay.
Sure. And he has written a book, written by him, about his life. And this book was sent to England. Queen Elizabeth II read this book with great interest. See? Historical, huh? Our living history, right? Yeah. And then I happened to meet him. I knew him very long time ago. Way back in the when he came back from Australia, the two brothers, the twins. His name is Dandy Michael Tiong. Sounds Fuchao, but not Fuchao. Bukan Fuchao, huh? This is Bisaya tribe. The other brother was Stephen. So after they completed their studies in the Shell Technical Trade School in Syria, so the brother went to England and he remained here. Now, when he was in Syria, 1957, 58, 59, I was there. And he was a very tough person, young man. He played hockey, he played rugby, he played football, and an athletic throwing event, javelin, discus, very, very tough, the two brothers. But his other brother is no more. And after he completed the technical training, he worked for Shell for a while. And then one day he decided to go to Kuching. There he met his Malay wife. So converted, pergi Islam. And his new name is Jali bin Abdullah. Jali bin Abdullah. Huh? And got children, grandchildren, and all the children were very well educated, holding high posts. This is the granddaughter, Arisa, granddaughter. Belajar dekat Unimas. Jadi apa? International Studies? International Studies, yeah? The granddaughter. All the family were well educated. Congratulations to you. Right, huh? Right, huh? Right. Hopefully that next year we can invite you again to be the icon, because this is a very good storytelling.
I have to be invited to.
You have to be invited too. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Right now. So this is like in Sydney, Australia, 1945. Australia too. Now, Allied prisoner of war grave, Batu Lintang. That part, it was rubber garden. So in the early stage of the war, people died or they are buried to Roman Catholic cemetery, Anglican cemetery. But when many people died, they cannot send them there anymore. Even they have to share the coffin. Satu coffin, put the body, bring there, to get the body, put outside and buried. One coffin to be shared among others. So there are plenty of graves there. So many graves. And after the war, this grave was taken away to Labuan. Labuan, you can see here, to Labuan. All these people, they go to Labuan 1946. But this one you can see in St. Thomas, is engraved by the nun. And you can see that in the St. Thomas cemetery down in Kuching town. Masih ada, yeah? Right. Now, Sarawak Government Railway, in those days, the prisoners of war, they work in the airfield, our airport. Every day they have to go there. From here, they have to walk to Green Road. There's the shortest railway in the world. From Brook Dockyard, it goes straight to the airport. So they have to walk there. And this prisoner of war, they have to sit in the open carriage. So this locomotive, they use wood or charcoal or coal, and the spark came out, blister semua. And they have to come back 5 o'clock. The whole day, not much food, little food, but no water. No water. So plenty of water, but little food, so they become very thin. And they have to walk there. They suffer a lot. If they get sick, no medicine, they die. Simple as that. Right. Now, you heard of this one? This is very, very, very interesting story. It made into a movie in 1950, and it's just a book called Tree Came Home. Now, first, this couple, Agnes Kiss. You go to Sandakan, up behind the hill, behind the bazaar, there's hill, and you see this Agnes Kiss punya house. Now, what is the story? So this Agnes, her name was Agnes Newton. She was an American, tall lady, my size. So she met her husband, Harry Keith, Englishman. They study in the University of California. There, they got to know each other, and they get married, and they went to Sandakan, because the husband worked in Sandakan. Harry Keith worked in Sandakan, and he was the curator of forests as well as the director of agriculture. Small place in those days. So the wife is a journalist, writer. So she wrote many books. One of the books is this one, Tree Came Home. Another one is Land Below the Wind. So Sabah now use the tagline, Sabah, Land Below the Wind, is after her book. See? Now she was interned in Batu Lintang, and when she was in Batu Lintang, she wrote the story of Tree Came Home. Sarawak make her famous, Sabah get the name. Think of it. See? Now, what happened here? One of these internees from Sabah, she has got some 2,000 of books collection. Great. So Colonel Suga bawa dia pergi sini, allowed them to have the books. So this group of people, they study at night. And most of these people, they're highly educated already. Ada degree, ada apa, highly educated. So nighttime they study, some of themselves. So this one become the first underground university in the whole of Malaysia. So how proud are you? University of Malaya after the war, 1947 or 48. This one during the Japanese time. And you can see in that museum, ada certificate, degree certificate issued by the prisoner of war among themselves. You see, tell people we study in the first university of Malaysia, Batu Lintang, not University of Malaya, right? Be proud of it. Now, then the Australian came, the war is, Japan lose the war, and we were under the Australian military administration, and the Australian was here, and after the war, this mopping up operation, Australian military administration took over, and for 7 months, mopping up operation, and they get hold of the Japanese. You can see the Japanese here, together with the Australian. They collect all the guns and send them back to Japan. That's it, huh? Now, Australian military administration only lasted for 7 months, and this is the Brigadier Thomas Estic. He was the Australian military governor of Sarawak. He was in charge of the Australian military administration. Actually, it's a British military administration, but they allowed the Australian to run the show. So, he was the governor, and this is his son, Bruce Estic, Dr. Bruce Estic. This is grandson, Michael Estic. This is me, this is Dato Lim. We visit the Astana because he stayed in the Astana, so the son and the grandson wanted to see where the grandfather stayed. So, come September 11 this year, we're going to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Sarawak and Batu Lintang from the Japanese. So, you will be invited. There will be a ceremony here. Remember that. All of you are invited to see that ceremony, preparing for that. So Bruce is bringing many Australian, also British coming, British from England, they're coming here. We bring them to have a ceremony in the Memorial Square, right? Bear that in mind. Now, this one, actually during the war, these people, there's no radio communication, not allowed. So, what do they do? You cannot tune to the BBC, no radio allowed, confiscated by the Japanese. So during the camp, this man in the camp, prisoner of war, when they go out to do their chores, they steal something, bicycle, gearbox, and also they make their own radio set. And they kept it under their kitchen fireplace. If they are found out by the Japanese, they will die. Kena gantung. So the kitchen, as people were very hungry, they have to plant their own vegetable, nothing to eat. So sometimes they trade their wedding ring, and the Japanese guard is the man go in between, black market selling. And a lot of these Chinese who are living across the perimeter, sometimes they make release pig for them to kill at night. At night time they read. So the cook was very efficient. Anything that dare to go near the kitchen, rat, snake, what do you call that? Frogs, anything at all, disappeared within minutes. They're so efficient, hungry, nothing to eat, They eat almost everything. So during the Japanese time, the snail, tokoyong Jepun. People eat that. Today is a delicacy. You go to Pontianak, the tokoyong Jepun, the snail, garden snail, they put lime there and they sell it in tin. Pergi Germany, cost a lot of money. They rare this one. So today is the delicacy. But today we don't care so much about it. So during the Japanese time, nobody want to plant rice because the Japanese want to take the rice. So that's why they depend on tapioca, stick the tapioca and sweet potatoes and so on. That is why when you go to that place, memorial, you see the tapioca. Tapioca has got the high place of honor because it was a survival crop. Without the tapioca, many people will die during the Japanese time. Today you want to eat tapioca. Mana mau makan tapioca tu? What is that, man? Be careful, You remember, if time is hard, then you realize how lucky you have to eat this tapioca. So don't look down on tapioca. Huh? Yeah, that's why we have the place of honor there. Now, this is Colonel Suga. This is Brigadier Estik, and Batu Lintang's camp commandant, Colonel Suga. And what happened to him after the war? And he was captured, and he was allowed to run the camp for a month before the Australians landed. The Japanese surrendered 15th of August. Here, 1 month later. But in the interim period, the Japanese already surrendered in Japan, so the guard have to continue because there was no Australian army. So Colonel Suga was asked to continue to run the camp, but without the guard, while waiting for the Australian to liberate. So what happened to him? He was brought to Labuan, and because he was in charge of Batu Lintang and the atrocities in Sandakan, many people died, he has got to be held responsible. So 3 days before he was put on trial in Labuan, he cut his throat with a kitchen knife. That's the end of him, Colonel Suga, right? Now, so Colonel Suga was responsible for all prisoner of war camp in Sarawak and North Borneo and has to take responsibility for war crime committed by the Japanese troop. And he died. Colonel Suga committed suicide before his trial in Labuan by slitting his own throat with a kitchen knife. You dare to cut your throat with a kitchen knife? Now, this is very interesting. This flag is behind Colonel Suga punya office, and this flag was given by his relative, the Japanese character, to say good luck to him. Right? Now, this original place is in the Sarawak Cultures Museum. The one that you see in this museum is a replica. The real one is there. So then what happened? 2 important papers containing death march were also found in Colonel Suga office. So we nearly have a death march like Sandakan, but orders were given by the Japanese in Tokyo to ask him to kill all the prisoners of war. So here you have this first order describe the proposed method of execution. Every prisoner of war and internees of the camp scheduled on 8 August 1945, not carried out. The Japanese not yet surrender. The Japanese surrendered 15th of August, this one before. But Colonel Suga did not carry his out. Otherwise, we don't have any more prisoners of war. And the second order, scheduled to take place 15 September 1945, did not happen. Camp was liberated 4 days earlier on this 11. So it did not happen. So Colonel Suga, in a way, was a man who saved a lot of these prisoners. He was, in a way, a kind man in that way. Yeah, right? Now, that place just now. So when the Australian came here, they liberated this camp and they found the flag in the Colonel Suga office. So this man, William Fox, he was a soldier, was the Australian Army, and he took the flag and brought it back to Melbourne, put it into the workshop for half a century, 50 years or so. And then somebody found out, and then Datuk Lim, he was at that point of time Assistant State Secretary, so he came to know of it, and this William Falk wanted to sell the flag to Sarawak at a high price. So Datuk Lim said, no, you and your wife come to Sarawak, you spend two weeks holiday, everything paid for by the Sarawak government. So they handed the flag to the director of museum, Haji Sanip, this Datuk Lim, and the flag was in the Sarawak Cultures Museum. That's the story, right? Now, right, how this place came about after the war? What happened after the war in Batu Lintang? Now, the institution was established in 1940 as a school by Sarawak Malay Training College, located at Madrasah Melayu Building, Jalan Jawa. This is near the Sarawak Cultures Museum. You know Hopo Shopping Centre? Opposite. You see this building. It started there, right? And this was after the end of the war, the college was reopened in 1947 with total 19 students, transferred from here to this place. And they're still using the prisoner of war punya barrack, modified a bit. And July 1948, the student was transferred from Jalan Jawa to Batu Lintang, XP camp, renamed Batu Lintang Teachers Training Center and School. And many of our ministers was educated here. One of them was Datuk Leo Mogi. He studied here, Daniel Tajem and so on. Many of them were educated at school. Belum jadi teacher school. In those days, if you pass Form 2, can be the headmaster already. In those days, ulu-ulu punya. Right. So, this is what the dormitory looked like. Very simple. Not aircon like what you have today. See? This is the student in those days. And this is the 1997, following the formation of Malaysia, the name of the institution was changed to Maktab Perguruan Batu Lintang. So become in those days only 2 years. 2 years training. After that, they can become teacher already. 2 years saja. Now you have 5 years. Now, in 2009, the name MPKL was changed again to Institut Pendidikan Kampus Batu Lintang, or Kuching Institute of Teachers Education Batu Lintang Campus. So this is the change again. So now this has been upgraded to have all teachers must have degree. Dulu mana ada degree. Primary, if you have Form 3, you become a primary school teacher. Kalau you become Form 5, you become a secondary school teacher. Not many people has got a degree in those days. Right. Very easy life. Everybody want to be a teacher because 3 holiday dalam 1 tahun. Everybody want to be a teacher. Right. Now, the institution started issue bachelor degree for the teaching profession. Now when you come up, you have bachelor degree, so the degree and diploma of education. Yeah, as good as going to the university. Now, importance of institute. How important is this place? You can see here in the 1950s, you see the vegetable garden? The students here they were taught to plant vegetable because they are going to serve in the very ulu. There's nothing there. So they have to teach them how to plant vegetable in order to survive in the ulu. So it's very different training than what you have today. So this is what it looked like. And also, now largest prisoner of war camp in British Borneo. This is what it is today. And we have first underground university in Malaysia. This reflects the historic moments started by few prisoner of war nighttime studies, ending with the awarding of degrees to the participant. So it is one of the earliest teachers training college. The first one is Apai, Sultan Idris in West Malaysia. The first one in the whole of Malaysia, but this one is one of the earliest. Now, a famous World War book, Three Camp Home, was written about the life of Batu Lintang camp by one of the internees, Agnes Newton Keith, later met in the movie. You can see from your laptop, you can type this one, you can see the picture coming up, black and white. Now, first teacher training institute in Sarawak and one of the earliest in Malaysia, and promote heritage tourism and Sarawak to the outside world. So many people come here today when they go to Sandakan, they also want to come to Sarawak to see. They read a lot about this Second World War, what happened in Sarawak, and many of them want to come here. The descendant of these people. That's why we have the Barrio airdrop and so on. That's another story. Ini panjang ni story ni. If I want to tell the story, is the Japanese occupation of Sarawak will be about nearly 3 hours. But it's a little bit of it. Just focus on Batu Lintang. Now, one trail in Bako National Park, cleared by the former Batu Lintang student, teaches 1957, named the Lintang Trail. So if you go to Bako National Park, there are many trails, jungle trail. One of them was the Lintang Trail. And that Lintang Trail was made by the student of this college. See, so many things that happened here. Are you not proud of being a student in Batu Lintang? Semua senyum, ketawa. Yeah, you should be proud. I'm very proud because this is my place. So this will be the now talking about this one. I would not because Datuk Lim is writing about this one and victim of Long Nawa, and the explanation here is given by Datuk Lim Kan Hock. So I'm giving you all this so you can read it for yourself about semua ada Batu Lintang, semua stuff di sana. All right. So this is the end of my talk.